Hey y'all, this is Hype,
helping youth plan for excellence.
We're here with the Kansas City Youth Commission, and they're going to tell us a little something about how they get down. So come on, let's check it out.
The Bright Future Employment Fair is an employment fair for the young people, and basically what we do is we conduct a lot of, I wouldn't say Fortune 500 companies, but some of them are Fortune 500 companies, and we employ or help employ the young people, and they come out and they present themselves nicely to the Fortune 500 companies.
There's actually an age limit. It's from ages 15 to 22, and you can apply online at kcmo.org/brightfuture.
Internships are important because, for one, they look really great on a college application and also other job resumes. They're also important because they're a good way to dip your toes into the real world, which is something a little bit different for a lot of youth because we're only really experienced with education and schools, and it's really nice to be exposed to the real world and the real workforce.
Yes, this is a paid internship. Very nice to have the fact that it's a paid internship. Really helps me out as a teenager. And last year I had the privilege of working in the youth advocacy office, in which when you first get there you're like, wow, this is one busy place. But once you start working there, you're like, I really like having these hands-on jobs because I actually got to coordinate events. Like I got to make a youth town hall meeting, and I also made the in celebration for the employment fair for the public sector, and it was very nice and very helpful, and I just felt it was more hands-on than most jobs that I had because as a teenager I'm given like odd jobs like just stuffing envelopes or just cleaning up after somebody, and now it just gave me more of a feel of like what it's like to actually be my own business person or my own entity, if you will, if that's the word. Yes, but so that's why I feel like it was just a great opportunity itself, and then I also got to meet like lots of people who I never thought I probably would have been able to meet if I wasn't a part of this internship. So it was a great networking tool.
For me, it was, you get to find out more about what is going on in the city. When you're just like a bystander and you don't really have a connection with the city, you just kind of, you don't really know what's going on. So I feel like once you get involved, you learn a lot more, and it's just a greater experience for you because you know how everything is working and just like what you are doing to help the city.
The wage is $8.94 an hour.
Is that pretty comparable to other jobs in the community?
Yes, it is. That is a lot of money to a 16 or 17-year-old.
Yeah.
When they just ante up the extra cents, though, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
you see,
But it's a lot
Just
more.
knock it up to $5.
It's a lot more than what you normally make as a 16 or 17-year-old at any place else. You know, it gives you, not only gives you a lot of great experience in City Hall, but it also gives you a lot of, an opportunity to make, a good amount of money.
But isn't the employment fair goal-oriented toward 15 and 22-year-olds? Say, for instance, I'm 22, and I've been in the workforce for a long time because I'm 22. $8.94 is like minimum wage to me. So, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like it's great for if I'm on the 15-year-old age, but if I'm like 22, I'm still trying to pursue internships and get networks and things, I think.
Well, I think it's all more about the experience than itself. If you're 22 years old, I would rather have the experience of being here than to just be doing a job because I just happen to be home from college.
Yeah, and I think if you're 22 years old, you're trying to basically kind of go into the professional world, and the experience you gain from the Bright Future Employment Fair and the jobs that you get and the connections that you get really can help you make that transition into the professional world. While working someplace else, maybe at a retail store, you might make more money, but you might not get the same connections that will help you later on in life.
Yeah, I think that the opportunity to work in the public sector and be paid is really unique because a lot of instances when people are looking for those types of internships, they have to volunteer their time and they aren't getting paid for those positions. So I think that that's a really great thing that the Bright Future Employment Fair offers.
For me, it was networking because I know that when I worked through the municipal court, they told me to email them and like keep in touch so that I could use them if I wanted to use them on a resume, or if I wanted to like call and like maybe they'd keep me in mind for next summer, because I know they have a lot of people they hired last summer. They had worked for them previous years, so I think it's all about networking, and you meet a lot of people through it.
I would have to agree with Phyllis. My experience, even after the internship ended, we contract with the city council's office. So I think that even goes to show, even if you do a good job, you can still get hired on other places after an internship's over, or even during the school year.
Okay, I think what was really important was the fact of the trust between the employers and the employees. I thought that was really key, because I don't know, just as a young person, and like I knew some adults, they didn't really trust younger people with some of the tasks and jobs that some of the employers trust their employees with during the bright future. So I thought that was a really great thing to have, because it just let me know that, hey, I am capable of doing something a little more than just cleaning up after somebody's messes.
I'd say basically bring a resume, even though you upload the resume and the letter recommendation online, you still want to bring extra copies to make sure your people you're interviewing with get copies of that, because that's really important. They really want to see that, and really want to see that, you know, you have something kind of like, you really something to offer the department. And also dress professionally. You don't want to, come wearing flip-flops or t-shirts. So if you do that, you'll make an impression on the people that you're interviewing with.
I think it's important that you are prepared, because you're going to have to do an interview with the potential employer. I think that it's important that maybe if you practice at home with a friend, or maybe one of your parents, you practice with them, have them ask you like a typical question that an employer might throw out at you. And I think it's important to practice those at home, but don't sound like you've been practicing when you go to talk to the employer. Don't sound robotic, will you? But sound like sound like you know what you're talking about. Don't sound like they just completely caught you off guard, because it's really important to make a good first impression.
And make sure you present yourself very professionally. And like Michelle said, don't be intimidated by other people. Be very charismatic and prove that you're different from everybody else. And so just be yourself, and as long as you're confident in yourself, it'll protect in your interviews, and it most likely will land you a job if you're more charismatic than everybody else.
When it comes to your resume, it's all about you bragging about yourself, because when it really comes down to it, the employer gets 50,000 resumes about those a day.
It's 816-513-1314.
That was so corny. Just one person say no. Go ahead.
Okay, 816-513-1314.
On behalf of Heidi,
Helping youth plan for excellence.
we would like to say thank you to Ms. Cherry and the Kansas City Youth Commission. This is Hype, and we out. Woo woo!